Hey everyone, my name is Salil and this is Telly Tadka that you're watching. And if this is going online, then a lot of people have been seeing me over the years. It's been almost 9 years now that we've been in the industry. When I say industry, I think I started off with radio in 2002, in October when I came to Bombay first. In 2004, I remember winning a little contest, which at that time was very interesting. And of course, we were much younger at that point of time. And it was called AXN Hot and Wild. One didn't really care. We were in Bombay, and I remember television was just starting to become a little big at that point of time. So I remember winning that contest, going on to host the show on AXN where I didn't get to speak at all for 13 episodes with Tanya, Zaita and Mike Whitney. And I said, what the hell is this? This is not television. But I remember getting a nice little 6-figure paycheck for going on 13 episodes, and I said, that's not too bad. So I said, well, the one thing that you can get with television is money. Fame I hadn't noticed at that point of time. So I said, why not? So I remember leaving radio very nicely at that point in time because it wasn't working out for me as much. Why? Primarily because there were too many restrictions in radio at that point in time. Left radio, then I did a lot of television over the years with Ekta, who became a good friend at one point in time, with Vipul Shah, who launched me with Ye Meri Life Hai. That was years ago. Kasauti, Kyunki, Kavyanjali, Kittu, so many serials followed after that. I think the one inconsistent thing about me was that I never did a lead show for a television serial until I did the one show which shut down, which is called Saath Saath Banayega Ashiana, which is on Z. It's come in the afternoon. I think that was my last tryst with full-time serial episodic television. That happened in 2008. So I did about 5 years straight of television, working in 24 hours a day. And then I left. There were primarily a lot of reasons for me to leave. I haven't left completely, but I just left at that point in time. Why? Because I had gained a lot of ground, but although I'd got accolades as an actor, I think the one thing that came across to me was that you can buy anything you want, but you cannot buy the audience's love. So the audience respected me for my acting skills as a thespian. They respected what I did on screen, but they couldn't come to love me, which is why I sort of realized I thought that maybe I need to take some time off and then maybe come back, because I'd been typecast as a villainous character in a number of serials. So I did do that. And then when I took some time off, the recession hit. But coincidentally, at that point of time, luckily I'd made enough of a name in television. When radio was again going through another phase, when the recession hit, 2008 odd, they offered me radio back, which is why now, having done 2.5 years on a breakfast show, you see dark circles, which I never had at one point in time, but now I do. Going back to radio was, I think, a very healing process for me. And I lie if I tell you that radio hadn't changed. Radio was now a multi-million-dollar industry. I went back to doing a show which was number 6 in the city at that point in time, which is now been ruling Mumbai's airways for the last 6 months. It's been number 1. It's been given awards like the best radio show at the India Radio Forum. We won many awards all over the world. We nominated at various international festivals. So that's the part where, the accolades that couldn't come in a field that I wanted it to come, came unknowingly and unwantingly in another field. Radio progressed, and today it's an extremely tough medium. Why? Because, I'll give you an example. We have some radio jockeys who've been there for 12 years, 9 years, 10 years. They just haven't left. Because generally speaking, in radio, people don't leave. They just like to stay there, and they stay put. Why? Because it's a great job. It's very cushy. If you're good, you're good. You stay good. As long as you don't get pompous, and as long as you keep your wits about you, you pretty much stay there. And unlike any other show, or unlike any other field, like in acting, every year, your security increases, your money increases, and your strength in the industry increases. So when you're looking at a long-term career, one wonders, is it going to be a short career? Should you have a backup plan? Well, radio is my backup plan. And it's come to the forefront as of now. It's helped me do a few things. Because I remember, and if people ask me, why don't you do film? I did a film, Avarapan, which did very well in India, did well abroad. I think in 2007, if you look back at that point in time, it was one of the biggest roles that a television actor had ever been given on screen. But the thing is, I didn't know what the right things to say in the film industry. I was a very outspoken person. And I had nobody to use or to thank for climbing up to where I was, and I refused to be apologetic about my success at that point of time. I still am not, but with a few years, maybe I've mellowed with my fire of anger. But I saw what was there in the film industry, and that's why I was very unhopeful of cracking it big time, because I refused to be waiting at the door to have Karan Johar come and knock on my door, even though he did once, not for a film role, but for something else. The thing is, it's just such a long process, you know, and I mean, I'd aged prior to me getting a nice role. So, yeah, you still do the processes, you still take care of yourself, you still go to the gym, you still try and do whatever you can, but I believe in the old adage that says that God helps those who help themselves. And if you don't help yourself, you're not going to get anywhere. So yeah, so today I think I'm pretty happy. I've got a production house that has a lot of events that we do. We produce content for TV, I do radio, I still do my B4U. It's been 9 years now, and somehow they're still sticking to me. And when the time comes, I probably will return back to television, but as of now, I think I'm in a happy space. And yeah, I don't think I connect with television as of now, whatever you see there. So, you know, they've gone back into the age-old eras of the villages. I think they need to come back in, because now the only roles that I get offered are Thakur's roles. And again, that's the villains, so we'll have to figure it out when they come back. Well, I'm actually an economics honors student. I was going to get into LSE. I got through IMT Ghaziabad. I was a very good student. For those of you who know, I scored an 88 in my class 12. I scored a 68 in 3 years in economics honors. So if you know your percentages, that's decent. But I just got tired of studying. I didn't want to study anymore. Not that I studied too much in college, but I was just lucky in college because, you know, in CBSE and in DU, you just need to... I was in Delhi University in North Campus for a while, and then I moved to Venki, that's South Campus. That's my darling dog, actually, by the way, in case you can see her. She's the love of my life. I got tired and irritated. You know, I didn't want to study what wasn't good in India and why we weren't implementing it here. And I was always performing, but I never really thought we would make a career out of this. I mean, like, when I first started radio, my mother said, and he does what for a living? He talks. Okay. So it's only that, you know, later on, when, you know, they saw you on TV and they said, oh my God, he's become famous. And with fame came a little bit of money, and so, you know, you bought stuff. And they suddenly said, oh my God, my son's already settled and he's only 25. Or, you know, people told her that. So it just happened. And that's it, I guess. And there's a lot of luck involved. I think I was very lucky. Yes, my school trained me a lot for a lot of things, in the sense that I didn't have to go to any classes or anything. I was already acting, I was already speaking. We already knew how to speak 2 languages fluently, which is what is required in our industry. So I think there was a lot of inherent training which wasn't really consciously done. Well, the thing is, you know, I started doing a lot of work for myself, which is doing a lot of radio spots, which is a lot of voicing. What I ended up doing was, I basically said that, look, I happen to do a decent amount of work, so I said, why should I source it out to somebody else? So I started sourcing it out to myself. So I produced my own content, whether it was voicing for Tata Sky, which I do. I have a 5-year contract with them. I voice for a lot of them. Whether it's for channels, whether it was radio spots, whether it's for commercials, AVs. The voicing world is very large and people don't really know it. People can run, I mean, not just dal roti, you can have chili chicken and tangdi kebab every single meal, and it's such a profitable organization, because not too many people know how to do it. So I did a lot of that, and so I started producing my own content. We got into a couple of big overseas productions of events, and one of them actually has Shah Rukh Khan in it with the Temptations concert. I'm actually just trying to get the sole rights for his production, with obviously the help of Cineyug. But as everybody knows, through some trouble that Cineyug's got into recently, it's a little dicey as yet. And plus, Shah Rukh's coming out with Ra 1. So, yeah, well, not everything goes through. But the thing is that, you know, at least I was happy that, you know, talks were happening at the level which is right up there. And all you needed to do was show credibility in one particular aspect. And that's when Rakshanda once told me, Rakshanda Khan, television actress who did very well, she had a production house. She said, you know what? I said, why are you still doing Kyunki? I mean, you've been doing it for so many years. She said, Salil, because Kyunki helps me get all the shows. That's what I realized. So I've suffered a little bit, but not getting as many shows as I used to when I was a television actor. But I think the credibility factor has gone up a lot. Now I do a lot of events for big events, for the Atrium Mall owners, big weddings, diamond merchants and all, you know, who somehow respect television actors less. I don't know why, they just feel they're flaky, which is ridiculous, but it's true. That's what they think. So, but they were very comfortable with somebody who had been in television, done film, and was now a radio professional, you know. And you have a post, so your creative head somewhere, you're doing all this. So just with that little one tag on your card, they just suddenly feel that oh, my money is safe. No matter if you're fleecing them, it doesn't matter, but the aim was to give a good product, and we always did give a good product. And I very personally, I don't have 10,000 people hired for me. We just have 4 or 5 people who we do everything together. And obviously when you're at the forefront of it, it's not a huge production house. It's big enough to make sure that everything runs well, and and you're really happy, and you will get 3 holidays a year, so it's good fun. See, I'll be very honest here. I don't know whether they're really looking. I mean, I know a lot of my channel friends who say that, dude, we're looking for younger people now. We're looking for fresher faces. Not that I'm very old, but the thing is, because I've been on screen for 9 years, that's a long time. And I refuse to come back for something that isn't worthy. If I come back, I mean, I haven't maintained an 18-inch or 17-inch bicep and a 44-inch chest just to come back as a little sidey little twig. So if I come back, you've got to come back as a really big. I like the way Angad came back. Even though the show didn't do well, at least he came back in a nice way. You come back strongly. I know Ijaz tried to come back like that, but it didn't work. I think, but Ijaz had other issues, I think, with the production house. See, nobody can guarantee any success. And Ram, a friend of mine, you all know him as Ram Kapoor, of course, was away from television for so long. He came back and it clicked. So I'll come back only if the role is really strong. I'm even if it's not the lover boy, he has to be somebody who's got a really strong character, because I still haven't lost screen presence, I assume, I hope. So right now I guess the audience just want to see somebody like me on screen, or me per se. So the day somebody does, it'll come back. Where I falter in with others is I refuse to stay in touch with anyone. I live in my own little cocoon. Because I feel that if 6 years on TV, constantly, every single day, on 5 channels at a time, one time, doesn't reply to recall factor by people, then I don't think what will. So, I refuse to be part of that bandwagon wherein, you just have to constantly keep calling up people, because, I have people half my age now, 18-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds, becoming creative heads of companies and saying that, I'm sorry, and you are. And I go like, why don't you just Google and find out? So, that's disrespectful to an actor. The moment they ask an actor, what do? You've lost the very first punch. As an actor, you're not supposed to tell people what you do. They're supposed to be able to know, oh, you know what, we saw you in that. So, as far as recognition with people is concerned, I've been away from television for 3.5 years, almost 3 years, and I still get recognized. So I think that does help to a certain extent. Will it help in the right circles? I don't know. But as and when people think it's right, somebody thinks I should come back, I probably will. Or even if I don't, hell, 3 years from now, I'll produce my own serial, man. We'll see. Well, like I said, I still VJ, I still RJ, I still have the production house, I still do everything together. I don't think I will ever be able to do anything on its own. If I did everything singularly, I would be very, very, very frustrated. I opened my own lights production company when I was 24 years old. I was 2 years into the industry. I bought lights, I bought a projector. I leased them out to Sunil Shetty for 2 years. So I think business was in my blood, even though my family doesn't do any business. And I think that's what kept me going, because I think the confidence of being an actor and doing all that came not because of the fact that I was doing well as in my profession, was knowing that I myself was my own backup, and I had 3-4 backups of my own. And I remember Vipul Shah, Optimistics owner, very good friend, he said, I think you're digressing too much, you should just do one thing. And I said, you're not going to pay my bills, neither are my parents. I said, I want to live a good life. So I said, if I don't back up for myself, nobody else will. So I did that. And people ask me the question, do you think you made a mistake? I mean, when you look at other VJs like Run Vijay who are doing so well now. And I said, no, you know what? It all depends. When I speak to them, they say like, dude, you have everything that you wanted in the world. The fancy cars, the fancy house, this, that. And I say, well, you've got something now which I don't have anymore, which is fame and adulation. So it's a give and take everywhere, man. So I don't think I do anything different. And I don't think I excel in any one particular field. I think because I'm doing various things, that is what helps me excel in one particular field at least at one time. It's 3rd November. I'm a Scorpio. Oh, everything. I play the guitar, I read, and I swim, gym, watch movies, everything. All kinds of film. I watch a lot of comedy. I watch a lot of serious cinema, whether it's the story and life of Adolf Hitler, to Intacto, to Mementos, to Saw, to scary film. I'm to Blair Witch, anything. I watch a lot of cinema, from Stanley Kubrick to even Dumb and Dumber. So, I love all kinds of cinema. Well, actually speaking, it's I love sitting on the beach. That is something that I'm working towards. I'm going to be taking my place in Goa soon. I love the beach, I love the waves, I love to watch them and eat really good food and just loll. I never get time to really be able to relax, and I think the beach is the most beautiful part for me, and I love the casino. I love going to casinos, so yeah, which is why Goa is also very high on the hit list, even though the casino is really bad there, but there's no other choice. That's the way it works. That's my line, that is my takya kalam, as they say. That is the way it works. If you're doing something like this, that's because you're meant to, and that's the way it works. I think I'm vain, arrogant and pompous, but I really do have a soft heart in between, and I don't have a passion for doing any particular thing. I don't think there are too many people who have the same kind of passion for working as I do. I love my work, whatever it is. If I'm scrubbing floors, I'll be scrubbing floors as if I'm getting a prize for it. And that's just me. I mean, I think I want to die working. And I don't really care if the money comes, doesn't come, if I get fame or don't get fame. I would work, if I had a pan ka shop, I'd make sure that it was so well publicized and had the best pan in the shop, in the world. I mean, I really love working. So people say that, you know, I have hands off. If you see, I have so many lines on my hands. They say these are the lines of a worker. And I kind of enjoy that. So yeah. One that I haven't yet been to, Spain and Ibiza, is where I want to go. I mean, I've traveled a lot, but I used to be in London at one point in time, but I got bored of it. But it has to be next to the sea. Though I love the cold also, it's quite ironic, but I wish the perfect destination would be warm seas, the beach, and a really cold climate outside. That would be awesome. That never happens, but I would love that. And I think Spain is something that I would really love. I've heard such good stories. My mother keeps telling me she goes there a lot. And Madrid and Ibiza is where I think I would want to go. Is Hermes, any day. Cricket, without a doubt. Not really, no. I think I've become too institutionalized to be romantic. Institutionalized because work's become my institution. But yes, when I do go all out there, I will hire a helicopter, I will hire a hot air balloon, and if I do propose for marriage, it'll be in a plane or in a yacht. So it'll be like that. But the thing is, I'm not one of those. I like extravagant romance. I don't like quiet romance, and I don't like extravagance in front of people. It's just the two people that you're there with. But I wouldn't say I'm romantic, and I wouldn't say I'm very mushy. No. It's very sad, but my day starts at 5:30 in the morning and it ends at about 8:39 in the night if I don't go for a film. So I clock 16 hours a day. I've been clocking that for the last 9 years, just to make you feel really happy about your lives. The longest holiday I've taken in 9 years is 5 days. 5 days is the longest holiday I've taken, and I haven't taken off from work, including Sunday, for the last 2.5 years. So yeah, it's a little tough. Not at all. I mean, I wear now some stuff because it just comes, but not at all. I don't really care. I'm conscious about branded jeans, because I think jeans, if they're not branded, don't work. But this isn't branded at all. Yeah, this is branded, my watch is, but I mean, even if I had a watch, I don't wear Breitlings. I don't wear all that because I think that's a complete waste of money. I love cars. I do have a very fancy car, and I plan to get another fancy car, but I'm not into clothes. I mean, I wear good stuff, because it just does, but if you work out, I feel like, you know, everything just fits you really well, so it's all right. My phone, my wallet, and my watch. Yes, completely. I think I was destined to be here, and I think I was destined not to become a face star till the way I am now. I think I was destined to get back into radio. A lot of astrologers did tell me that, and I never believed them. They said, "Aapki awaaz se aap वापस पैसा कमाएंगे," and I said, "कब का छोड़ दिया मैंने पंडित जी?" And as fate would have it, I came back into it, and today it's the bread earner of my career. So yeah, that's the way it is. No, actually not. I mean, okay, just to give you, I've been on Twitter for 4 years and I have 38 tweets. I've put 38 tweets in 4 years, so that's how net savvy I am. Professionally, I don't want to talk about the exhibitions that we've done because I don't even remember how much we made there. Radio Mirchi was my first paycheck, 35,000, and that was in 2002, November. I hadn't worked prior to that. I mean, I got this 3,500 and 700 rupees a day, Best of India functions or trade fairs and auto expos, but I don't really call that work. So my real first paycheck was Radio Mirchi, and it was gone by the 27th of the month, so I didn't have money left. Well, I had surgery on my back in October, so I've had to come back into working out in March. and it was perhaps the most horrific 4 months of my life. And I was sitting and sleeping, and then I think I took inspiration from a lot of big actors who've been through it. Shah Rukh Khan still has a metal plate in his back, and I said, if he can jump around like a maniac now, why can't I? When a lot of doctors in Bombay and a lot of the big reputed surgeons, that's what I realized also in India, people are just too scared. And you know, you had to hear to give you an example, I had 5 herniated discs, I still do. I had 2 compressed nerves, and I had 1 slip disc, and that's all at one go. I couldn't sleep lying down. I could not even get an MRI scan done lying down. I had to be sedated, put to sleep, and then put on something and then put inside. My doctor said, if you walk again, it'll be great. I said, yeah, whatever. And he said, you'll never be able to run again. And this was in October 2010. And here is somebody who's been working out for 12 years. And I said, I don't care what you do. I said, you can rip my back apart, put an artificial back if you want, but I am going to get back to doing whatever I can. And then I met a really good doctor, you know, at Hinduja Hospital, really fantastic guy who came and said, and this is somebody who's been going to doctors every day for 3 months. There's not a single doctor in all of Mumbai that I don't know, including consulting surgeons in Canada. And when I met him, he said, just chill. He said, you know what? He says, injuries will happen. He said, if things have to happen, we'll do it. You'll have to have a minor surgery, and if you can pull through that one, we won't have to have a major one. And I went and did that, and there it is. Now I work out very safely, but I still do the things that I want to do. I'm a little more respectful to my body. I thought I was Superman prior to that, but I'm a little more respectful, but that hasn't stopped me from trying to still be Hulk Hogan, because I always wanted to be like him. FM बोले तो रेडियो सिटी 91.1 पर आप सुन रहे हैं कसकाई मुंबई सलील के साथ. इट्स अ लवली मॉर्निंग, और आज मेरा मूड है कि आपको यार कुछ खूबसूरत गाने दिखाएं यार जावेद अली साहब की, जो मेरी बिल्डिंग में ही रहते हैं, और भाई साहब आजकल निकले हुए हैं क्योंकि वो एक बड़े से जज कर रहे हैं शो. And that's exactly how my show pretty much carries on every single day, morning to afternoon, 7 to 11 in the morning. And it's, people say that where do you get the energy from, and you know, why do you talk so much? I said if I didn't talk at this pace, you guys would fall asleep early in the morning, which is why I try to keep the pace up, and hopefully it does well. Yes, well, you know, I have a lot of people, I feel like a grand old daddy when they come and ask me for advice all the time, you know. And I would go like, you know, you've seen me in a lot of mediums, and maybe I chose the path of being a jack of all trades and figuring out if I could master one, which I'm still in the process of. If you're a guy in the industry, you really need a backup plan. If your dad doesn't have a lot of money to back you up with, you are not going to survive this industry. If you're a girl, you really better maintain the way you look, the way you are, and the way you speak. A lot of people are very beautiful and they lose out a lot of work because they don't know how to keep it going. There's a way the industry talks. You have to learn to figure that out. Be yourself, but learn to figure that out. And always have somebody watch your back. You know, यहाँ पे कोई किसी का दोस्त नहीं होता है. And the day you become very successful, the whole world suddenly turns into an island for you. You're on that little island yourself. So have enough to be able to do yourself. Keep the happiness at home. I've got my dogs, I have a few friends, and I love traveling. So, you know, that peace of mind and sanity is very important. Otherwise, you'll get sucked into all this money and all this fame, and suddenly you'll think that this is all there is. And before you know it, in 5 years, it's all gone. So make sure that you're really smart about it. And always realize that there's always a big day that can come up if you stay true to your profession. Thank you so much for having me on Telly Tadka.